Good morning again, pirates. We've got some really big news on tomorrow's update. I figured I would share with you guys. We just got the patch notes for year 2, season 2. I'm just going to read over most of this. With the impending arrival of faction wars, we're involving the world to reflect the next chapter in your journey. As players transition from World Tier 1 to World Tier 2, the world itself will shift to reflect the aftermath of Year 1 story and re-emergence of the shadow and the artifact. What's new? New ship, frigate, we all know that. Large size tank, dual auxiliary weapons. Your equipped auxiliary weapon now has 2 stations, devastating firepower up to 34 gun ports in total when using culverins, has a vast cargo hold, haul all the loot with a massive weight limit starting at 80,000, immense durability, 100,000 whole health at ship upgrade 1, and up to 128,400 whole health at ship upgrade 7. Unwavering stability, stands firm against tide and waves, making it easier to aim. It has the rear weapon dead zones. Serious firepower comes with a trade-off. In between the rear quadrants are some dead zones where weapons are unable to fire. It also has multiple weak points. Big target, bigger threat, master positioning to dominate. These weak points are only exploitable on PvP. So it doesn't really apply to me. I'm a PvE player. We got the perk grit now. Gain a stack of grit when you take damage. Each stack of grit increases armor by 40 up to a maximum of 10 stacks. Each stack of grit lasts 15 seconds. Extra small, and medium ships within 200 meters take 10% reduced damage, and your ship takes 10% additional damage. If you have 10 stacks of grit, allied ships take 20% reduced damage instead. Upgrade the frigate to unlock secondary perk payback. Gain a stack of grit when you deal damage to an enemy. Each stack increases weapon damage by 1%. Stacks last 15 seconds. Dev note. Frigates are designed to play and feel massive, commanding and impossible to ignore. Though slow to maneuver, they unleash devastating firepower, acting as both a shield and a spear. Attaining a ship of this class and power is no easy feat, requiring hard to obtain materials such as deep iron to craft. While working towards tier 45 of the Smuggler Pass for the blueprint, a wise captain can start gathering deep iron from the new megafort Wolvenhall, or purchasing them regularly from William Blackwood. Megafort Wolvenhall. Anchored in the heart of Red Isle, Megafort Wolvenhall is a fortress blistering with guns, galleys, and grim resolve. Only the most daring of pirate crews will breach the walls of the Wolf Hunter or die trying. Form an alliance with other captains to face the high-pressure missions of taking down the new megafort Wolvenhall and earn rewards that will aid you in upgrading the frigate. The megafort is also a treasure trove of materials such as ascension materials, masterwork kits, upgrade parts, and more. To challenge the new megafort Wolvenhall, all players need to be in World Tier 2. From the journal, visit the Events tab, search for the Indian Ocean Activities header, and select the Wolves Hollow. Use the call to arms function to start the event. A total of 6 captains minimum are required to start the event, up to 20 players. Take down the new megafort within the time limit of 30 minutes to succeed. Upon the successful takedown of the megafort, participants will be rewarded with Masterwork Kit, Upgrade Part, Ascension Modules, Pieces of 8 and Silver, a Megafort Cache containing specialized materials, refined helm materials, and a random ascended weapon. Open world navigation. We've made significant improvements to the core sailing experience, bringing it closer to the real-world dynamics of wind and sea. These changes are designed to give you more control, more depth, and more ways to sail like true captain. Sail types and wind direction. Different sail types now interact uniquely with wind directions. Mastering the right sail for the conditions is now a crucial part of your strategy. Square sails, brigantine, frigate, snow, cutter, etc. Rectangular sails perpendicular to the ship. Upwind will cause a brief speed reduction when sailing upwind. Sails rotation to optimal sails angle is narrower. Time taken to adjust to wind direction is shorter. Sailing with downwind will have bonus speed. Lateen sails, Padawakang, Sandbach, Bedar, etc., triangular sails parallel to the ship. Upwind will have little to no speed reduction. Sails rotation to optimal sail angle is wider. Time taken to adjust to wind direction is longer. Sailing with downwind will not have a bonus speed. So you will not get any bonus speed for sailing downwind, but you will not have any reduction for sailing upwind. So that's kind of good. Crew stamina and trimming. Stamina consumption has been updated to better reflect the rhythm of sailing. Initial acceleration trimming the sails will cause a short burst of stamina drain as your ship picks up speed. Optimal trim speed. Once your cruising, stamina consumption is significantly reduced, allowing for longer voyages. Downwind sailing. Trimming costs are generally reduced, making it the most efficient direction for conserving stamina. Neutral winds. Trimming drains stamina at a standard rate. Upwind sailing. Trimming causes a brief spike in stamina drain before stabilizing as the ship adjusts. Handling and momentum. With the introduction of the frigate, it became clear to us that we wanted you to truly feel the weight of the ship, and so we revisited how ships handled based on their inherent mobility and mass. Momentum. Ships now preserve more of their momentum when dropping anchors, allowing advanced maneuvering, allowing for tighter turns, allowing you to better outmaneuver your enemies. Different ship sizes have different ranges and maneuverability, allowing players to decide what best fits their individual playstyles. From nimble hit and run tactics to hulks that crush everything in its path. Small ships allows for faster turn rates even at higher speeds. Medium ships, moderate turn rates at high speeds. Large ships, slow turn rates at high speeds. Wind gust zones. Take advantage of wind gust zones scattered across the Indian Ocean to gain temporary speed boosts. Skilled navigation and timing will let you ride the wind to outmaneuver enemies, reach objectives faster, or simply enjoy the thrill of high-speed sailing. These changes reward smart sailing and give you more ways to maneuver your crew's endurance during long journeys or intense chases. Arsenal and cosmetic loadouts. You can now save and apply up to 20 arsenal loadouts and 20 cosmetic loadouts from the Manage Ship menu. These loadouts are ship agnostic, allowing you to save equipment and cosmetic templates and apply them to the ships of your choice. Personalize loadouts by giving it a name and choosing from a set of icons and colors. Saving an arsenal weapon in an arsenal loadout will save the specific instance of the ascended weapon. The loadout tooltip shows a preview of the items that can be applied. Items that can be applied are marked with a green tick. Items that are already equipped are marked with a yellow tick. Items that cannot be applied are marked with a red tick, which may be due to one or more of the following causes. The saved items no longer exist in the player's inventory. The saved item is equipped on another ship. The saved item is not compatible with the current ship. You can select the pool of equipment by pressing a button to toggle loadout source. Cargo and warehouse will not apply items equipped on another ship. All sources will unequip items from another ship if needed. Loot beams. Dev note. In our mid-season update, the visibility of loot beams was significantly reduced in response to feedback gathered at the launch of our Year 2 Season 1. We acknowledged that the change introduced was too drastic and took some extra time to fine-tune the visuals to strike a balance between usability and immersion. So they increased the visibility of the loot beams. Outpost maps. Find your bearings when exploring outposts by simply bringing up the map. Outpost maps will also be displayed on the mini-map in the top right corner of the screen. Customize ship vanity in Death Tide's fleet menu. You can now customize your ship vanity through the main menu's Death Tide's fleet menu for ships that are assigned to Death Tides. Smuggler Pass highlights. New method of earning smuggler points. Instead of earning smuggler points through infamy gain, players will now be awarded a set amount of smuggler points based on the types of activities like plunders, world events, or contracts they participate in. And through completing challenges, smuggler points gain is also doubled when completing activities in World Tier 2. New weapons. Epic, Demi Cannon, Thunder, Dragon Cannon. Perk, Skyrend. Each volley of cannon fire on enemy sails has a chance of summoning a lightning strike that deals 5,000 electric damage. Every 5 hits adds a 15% chance, up to a maximum of 45%. Lightning strike damage increases to 10,000 if target has torn sails. Perk, Tearing 3, increases damage by 75% when hitting sails. Perk, Electric 2, adds 20% of damage as electric damage. Epic Minor Furniture, Accelerated Gun Rail Smithy. Reduces reload time by 4% and increases secondary damage of auxiliary weapons by 4% for each weapon quadrant being reloaded, up to 16%. While not trimming sails, increases weapon damage for auxiliary weapons by 9%. Increases turning speed by 8%. Epic Armor Wormhide. Perk, Entrenched. Receives 5% less damage from structures and an additional 1% for every 3,000 brace strength. Perk, Bastion. While at half sails or anchored, receive 20% less damage from hits. Baby Hippo Pet Buttles. Buttles, the baby hippo, will be available after unlocking 90 tiers in the Smuggler Pass. New seasonal currency, Guild Marks. Look out for guild marks, thin pieces of unknown material stamped with the symbol of balance and death. To the unknowing, they are curious oddities. To those in the know, they are not easily earned. Guild Marks is a new permanent seasonal currency introduced year 2, season 2. This new currency will replace the following reward drops: Imperial Jade, Crystallized Tainted Wood, Comfort Bars, which will remain in the game but no longer be obtainable. Existing players' own currencies like Imperial Jade, Crystallized Tainted Wood, Comfort Bars will remain in your inventory for now and be made exchangeable at Blackwood for silver in a future update. Guild Marks will also be exchangeable at Blackwood for silver at the end of each season. Remaining unused Guild Marks will be reset with every new season. New items at Blackwood. Epic Rocket Storm Vigil. Perks. Torrent. Rains 60 rockets over an extended period of time. 50% of flooding damage is dealt as severe damage. Perks. Flooding 2 adds 20% of damage as flooding damage. Epic Mortar Roaring Meg. Perks. Demolition. Explosive damage from this weapon deals 300% increased damage to structures. Perks. Precision Blast. Adds 30% of damage as explosive damage in a 30-meter blast radius. Perks. Piercing 1. Adds 10% of damage as piercing damage. Increases damage to weak points by 50%. Epic Springloader Royal Sentinel. Perks. Dazzling. Detonation also applies shell shock to all targets. Perks. Combustion 2. Adds 20% of damage as explosive damage. This is going to be just like the Infernal Maw with the little mines that you run over. So that's going to be this, but it's going to be explosive. Rare Armor, Harrow Guard. Perks, Impregnable. The puncture status effect is 50% less effective in reducing armor. Reduces duration of the puncture status effect by 15%. Epic Armor, Nova Arma. Perks, Volatile Vestment. When hit while bracing, an explosion is triggered, which deals 3,500 explosive damage in a 100-meter blast radius. This effect has a 10-second cooldown. Minor Furniture, Ammo Priming Bench. Increases damage to structures by 20% for siege weapons and repair amount of repair weapons by 8% when more than 160 meters away from the target. Siege weapons deal 4% increased weapon damage. Repair weapons repair 7% more whole health. Increase projectile speed of siege weapons and repair weapons by 10%, except for sea fire and auxiliary weapons. Balance changes. These changes are only applicable to the open world, Indian Ocean, and do not affect gameplay in our PvP game mode, Death Tides. Challenges and difficulty scaling. Dev note: the following changes have been made to address feedback about getting sunk too quickly and unexpectedly by specific AI encounters. One-shot mechanic. These changes will have more noticeable impact on SR19 plus content and should significantly increase player survivability while attempting those fights. DPS ships. Plus 20% brace regeneration rate for DPS ships. Ship rank based damage scaling. Damage now scales minimally as long as your ship is beyond SR13, as long as the damage dealer and the damage receiver are within 6 SR range. So that's 6 levels as long as you're within 6 levels. Multiplayer scaling. Damage scaling and multiplayer scenarios for world events have been reduced for ship AI. Approximately 8% damage reduction with 5 participants, 15% damage reduction with 20 participants. Elder Shadow Beast. Reduce damage of all attacks by 30%, increase health by 20%. Shadow Beast. Increase damage by 20%, increase health by 20%. These sea monsters currently have extremely high damage and low health. These changes are aimed at better aligning them to other world events. La Peste. Fix an issue where weapons were being inconsistently applied from the Kingpin event and the regular world event, resulting in incorrect damage being applied. Hubak Twins and related Hubak world events. Reduce damage of homing torpedo attack by 10%. Reduce the homing value of torpedoes by 10%. Reduce turret buoy HP by 40%. Li Tianning, the Glorious Phoenix. Fix an issue where Li Tianning, the Glorious Phoenix health was incorrectly higher, making the fight excessively longer than it was intended. Abhak. Reduce accuracy of the mortar attack. Increase reload time of mortar attack by 70%. Decrease damage of mortar attack by 10%. Dev note. Abhak's mortar has been adjusted so it is more infrequent, giving players more time to recharge their brace. Plague Prince. Further reduction in accuracy of the poison mortar. Decrease the damage of the poison mortar by 20%. Hubak Hostility Chasers. Reduce accuracy of repair choristers by 25%. Reduce heal rate of repair chorister by 30%. Reduce damage of torpedoes choristers by 20%. Reduce damage of conductors by 15%. Reduce health of conductors by 15%. Dev note. The above-mint chaser fleets have been turned downward as they were significantly more punishing than their counterparts. Sharpshooter ship archetypes. Dev note. Sharpshooter ship archetypes fire less often than the other archetypes. On a damage per second basis, they did less than other archetypes. However, because the damage was concentrated into a few highly accurate shots, the attacks were often too punishing. Reduce the overall damage from SR-13 plus sharpshooters by 25%. Decrease general accuracy from the distance and when the target is maneuvering. Fix issues where some snipers were reloading faster than others. Adjusted several sharpshooters so they are less likely to fire at point blank and would move away from the target and keep a minimum distance. Rewards and loot. Increase average pieces of 8 rewards across various activities. Rewards are an average amount. Rewards are scaled for both world tiers. Merchant convoys 75 to 175. World event bosses 85 to 375. Bounties 150 to 500. Helm Empire. Increase activity rewards for Helm Empire opportunities targeting owned manufacturers. Opportunities targeting owned manufacturers now give double the rewards on an opportunity targeting an unowned manufacturer. Course of growth upgrade no longer doubles activity reward when it is applied on an opportunity. Production rate for helm wares has been adjusted to improve the overall pieces of 8 earn rate. Base production rate for all helm wares has been increased by 50%. Production rate for Ascension modules has been adjusted. Base production rate for Ascension modules has been increased by 80%. Balance changes, Death Tides. I'm not really going to go over this part because I don't play Death Tides. I'll just scroll slowly so you could see it. It also gives my voice a break. There's so much coming. I'm beyond excited for tomorrow. All right, here we go. Global balance changes. ships, snow. Added 1 top deck gun port on broadsides. Let's go. Now we're going to get 4 instead of 3. Padawakang, added 1 top deck gun port on broadsides. Same thing, 4 instead of 3. Let's go. Weapons, Blightkeeper. This now also acts as a repair weapon and will repair allied ships within the shield, though by a lesser degree than the Little Grace 3. That's still pretty cool. All demi-cannons. Reduce recoil of all demi-cannons. All torpedoes. Reduced arming distance of all torpedoes. Arming perk. Reduce from 100 meters to 85 meters. Quick arming perk. Reduce from 75 meters to 65 meters. Increase base damage of torpedoes by 15%. So torpedoes are going to be the new meta. I like it. Weapon mods. Overflow. Now circulates severe damage bonus based on damage prior to mitigation compared to earlier where it did this based on damage after mitigations. Furniture, secret cache, increased turning speed boost from 8% to 16%. Increased acceleration boost from 8% to 6%. Ooh, that's going to be nice now. Secret cache, keep an eye out for that. Light and mass, increased acceleration boost from 13 to 26. Same with that, that's going to be huge. Balance mass, increased acceleration and deceleration from 8% to 16%. The Starry Trophy, increased acceleration boost from 7% to 14%. Rope Locker, increased acceleration from 13% to 300% to 450% when trim is activated at full stamina. Adjusted stamina consumption from 5% to 7% when triggering acceleration effect. War Drums. Adjusted secondary perk from reducing crew stamina depletion rate while trimming by 50% to reducing base stamina depletion while trimming by 50%. World Tier Activities Separation. With the implementing arrival of Faction Wars, the world is evolving, reflecting the next chapter in your journey as players transition from World Tier 1 to World Tier 2. The world itself will shift to reflect the aftermath of Years 1's story and the re-emergence of the Shadow and the Artifact. World Tier 1 is now represents the Year 1 world state, including all Year 1 main story quests for players to catch up on our game story, explore the Indian Ocean, and get familiar with the key tactics of sailing and naval combat. World Tier 2 introduces a transformed Indian Ocean setting, the stage for faction wars, and continuing the narrative with Year 2 main story and quests and seasonal quests. Dev note, these changes are our first step towards a more streamlined and narratively coherent experience. With the introduction of World Tier 2, we've heard your feedback about the world feeling overcrowded with overlapping events and unpredictable difficulty spikes. Our goal is first to ensure all players have more control over the type of experience they want, ensuring the difficulty scaling feels progressive, intentional, and rewarding, and giving the world a structure that grows as you progress through the game's story. We've also heard about your concerns about the community being separated between new and veteran players. This is a topic the team is actively looking into addressing in a future update. Content availability. The availability of activities has been categorized and split between World Tier 1 and World Tier 2 to streamline the number of activities available for each world tier. To ensure continuity and flexibility, Infamy quests, side quests, job board contracts, bounties, helm contracts, and time-limited event quests will remain available in both world tiers. All regular world events will be on permanent rotation in World Tier 1. Elite warships Vanderkill, OP Welling, Soleil Royale, Commander Zhang, Merja, Roadman Godin, seasonal pirate lords Vikram Rajan, Li Tianning, the Hubak twins, Le Peste, sea monsters, Shadow Beast, Megalostari, Risen Megalostari, Risen Zamarabu. Dangerous variants of world events will be exclusive to World Tier 2, reflecting the heightened stakes and evolving threats of the new world state. Elder Shadow Beast, Philip Lepeste, the Hubak twins, Li Nan Tiang, Vikram Rajan, and Vikram Rajan Deadly. These are all the dangerous versions. Players can check the seasonal calendar to stay updated on active events in World Tier 2. The availability of world events will remain dynamically scheduled in World Tier 2 with different content throughout the season to keep activities in the Indian Ocean refreshed. The in-game seasonal calendar will reflect current and upcoming key events in World Tier 2. Upcoming time limited events. Time limited events. Moonshine Larceny. Event availability 22nd of July to the 19th of August. Fight the convoy and fleets that are filled with supplies and goods for the war between the DMC companion factions. Time limited events. Dark Tide Lullaby. Event availability 2nd through the 30th of September. Fight the weeping mother spirit haunted by grief and vengeance, whose fury culminates in spectral ships and other strange happenings. Improvements and bug fixes, quests and contracts. Fix an issue where the infamy rank was shown as freebooter rather than infamy 4 during the quest Hordes at the Gates. Fix an issue where players were unable to progress the quest Unsacred Offerings. Fix an issue where no ships would attack the player while completing the contract A Dangerous Escort. Fix an issue where the player was able to see the contract Hordes at the Gates in their journals while doing onboarding contracts. Fix an issue where the Spectre ship weapons weren't missing. Combat. Fix an issue where Megafort planners got stuck at breaching. Fix an issue where the objective fails to update when the player tries to destroy the target ship's towers with flames. Fix an issue where the Urban Great Gun shot projectiles in an odd arc. Fix issue where the Smuggler's Pass challenges will not register after completion. Death Tides, again, I don't play it, so I'll just let it be there. Ooh, they fixed the graphics. Fix issue where lightning was abnormal at the Huvak Twins base. Fix issue where Moyan Crick Outpost had graphical corruptions on the terrain. Fix an issue where LODs would be observed on grass, rocks, and trees. Helm Empire. Fix an issue where completing a manufacturer buyout would have the NPC repeating a dialogue on loop. Fix an issue where the buyout icon was not visible on the outpost minimap until the player went close to the NPC. Again, these are all just fixes. I don't think I need to go over all these. We're going to see it tomorrow. So yeah, we have new weapons, new armor, and new furniture. That was mainly what I really wanted to get out. I'm super pumped. Anytime we get new stuff, of course, it's going to be great. But we have the frigate, and then we also have the items that I went over. The ammo priming bench, that's going to be a new minor furniture. The Nova Arma is going to be a new epic armor. The Harrow Guard is going to be an armor. The Royal Sentinel is going to be a spring loader. The Roaring Meg, it's going to be a mortar. And the Storm Vigil is going to be a rocket. So these are all going to be new tomorrow. I hope to see you guys on the seas. If you like this video, give it a like. If you got any comments, you can leave them below. You want to see future Skull and Bones videos? Well, just make sure that you are subscribed. I will have a frigate video out as soon as I can. I promise you that. All right, guys. Peace.